everybody, and welcome back to another video. Yes, that's right, my coach has finally dropped me, and in this video I'll explain why. In fact, I will let Costa tell you because we've got him here on the video. Costa, welcome, and how are you, mate?
Hi mate, good, how are you?
Yes, very well, thank you, and looking forward to talking through this one with you. So obviously back on the channel, which is absolutely great. Nice to have you here again. Now, since starting the channel, we've obviously become, a great community, and to celebrate this, Dan, who is an absolute legend, who does so much for the team, organising ladder matches, the team time trials, suggested we do a club championships, and what a great idea. And Dan, what a great support you are to the team. Thank you so much, mate. Couldn't do it without you. Now in this race we got one of the new France tracks. It's the Gentil 8, and we got 3 categories by Racing Score, but we've got a mass category start, so it's going to be absolute carnage from the go basically. And I invited Costa. I said, Costa, please can you domestique me, because I wanted to get that upper hand. I wanted to see if I could do, as well as possible in this race. So Costa, let's talk a little bit through the race. Plus, I've got some bonus questions for you. But just to remind everyone, firstly, Costa is a professional cycling coach. Now, I'll link in the description if you want to know a little bit more about what Costa does and the NRC-Team and all of the training options. Or you just want to speak to Costa about how he can improve your FTP or your general fitness on a bike. But I'm looking forward to this one, mate. So let's get started. So as you can see, we're just coming through a little bit of the new cobbled section on this course, and I'm near the front, and so are you at this point. So yeah, that's good news. So what were you thinking at this point during the race, mate?
Yeah, so I joined without any expectations, to be honest. I supposed to have like zone to a right, and I was thinking, okay, so we have 2 hills, then on the first hill there will be the first selection, so we have to stay in the front group as close as possible, save energy, and then of course downhill, recover all the way through the volley until the last climb, and then give it all out 5-minute effort. Now
I've got a question for you. During this race, obviously I asked you to domestique me. What was your thinking at this point? Because I can't actually see you at all on the course. You were kind of near the front for a lot of this. Would you say the racing kind of got the better of you at all, or were you did you still have an eye on me at this point?
Yeah, mate, I've been looking at you. However, to be honest, that was my first Zwift race this season, so I haven't raced this season at all, and I had to kind of get used to the pack, because honestly it's changed a lot since the last year, and it looks like when you have these new whatever it's called, like Zwift controller, it gets much easier to go through the peloton and find a spot.
Yeah.
And my avatar was really always outside of the draft, and I was so pissed, like, hey, I had to came back to the end of the group and then push a bit harder.
Okay, so that's the excuse out of the way. In fact, I can see you now. You're just behind me, which is good, which is where any domestique should be at this point. But I'll tell you how I'm feeling now. So it's been a bit like a pretty tough start, and I think the pack has already broken up a little bit, to be honest with you, just pre this sprint here as we come through another little sprint. So my heart rate's not too bad, kind of mid 150s. So I'm putting a little bit of effort in, but yeah, we've just come to the bottom of the hill. So what are you thinking at this point? Because we let the hill run through here, and you're not too far ahead of me, but I know it's going to split. So what are you thinking at this point?
Yeah, I was thinking it just to have a look, to stay up front. Obviously, hopefully you will stay as well, and then to see at the end of the climb what would be the gap. Like if you get a gap, then maybe it has sense to came back to you and pull the group. But if it'd be like the split would be too high, then unfortunately that's it. So
well, we are going to see, Costa, what happens and how this plays out. So you can see there is a bit of a split here, and I'm doing my best. I mean, I did actually recon the course the day before, and I knew it was going to take me just probably over 6.5 minutes, and that was feeling fresh the day before. And obviously where we're riding up here, I've already kind of burnt a match. So you can see the group ahead, there is a little bit of a split, and I've got a couple of people in mind that I just want to hang on to be honest with you. So there's a couple, Chris Moore, who's just ahead. I know Chris is a similar kind of, category, and he's a similar ability to me. So I had kind of Chris, and then Pete, who's just behind at the moment, also a similar ability. So I kind of had him, although those two in mind, just to kind of stick near. And you can see I don't know, Pete's just ahead of me now on the right hand side. So I'm kind of feeling okay, but I didn't really want to go off the back here. So it was pretty painful at this point. But you know, considering I've been off the bike for a little bit, and I know I keep using that as an excuse. And it's not an excuse, but it is a little bit of an excuse. But you know, this was my first. I really wanted to basically perform in this race, but as you can see, a couple are trying to break off here. But Costa, you're up the front, mate. Now, what's going on up the front?
Yeah, so as far as I remember, there was two guys. They went about like around 6 watts per kilo for this climb from the very bottom, and the rest was about 4.75 ish watts per kilo, so constantly. And then, you know, in the back of my head, I was thinking about my race 2 days afterwards, like proper race.
So it probably would have been really sensible just to drop back at this point and give me a hand, no?
So I was thinking, okay, if I stayed with the front group, I might have chances to be on the podium for this race for sure. And and I had a look where you are, so it's been like around, I think, 30 or 45 seconds, I think.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. And I was thinking it's really a huge gap, and now, you know, sometimes it happens that Domestique, you know, going to break away and
Domestique goes ahead and wins the race. No, well, I'm not going to spoil the result in the end, but yeah. So now, and to be fair, mate, it was a late call up, and you know, I don't begrudge you that sort of going ahead and trying to win. I'd be exactly the same. If I had your ability, I would be up there trying to go for the win. But yeah.
But once again, mate, I think considering your current form, right, that you missed due to illness a couple of weeks, even more, then I think you did pretty well in terms of like staying with the right group, staying with the right people to not really, you know, burn yourself on the first climb. I think that's really wise decision, because what you could go for 2 minutes all out effort, and then you will be done for the rest of the race.
Yeah. Nah, it's a good point. It's a good point. And I knew I had to keep something in reserve, because just it's like it's a 6.5 minutes for me, isn't it? It's just painful. I've never been known for my great 5-minute power, to be honest with you. So I was quite happy with that. I was quite happy to stay in this group, and just obviously happy to have a bit of a rest at this point as well as we're going down the hill, which is probably a good time to ask you a quick question, if that's all right, Costa. A quick training and performance question, which I think is going to be quite useful for anyone watching. What would you say is the biggest training mistake you see amateur cyclists make?
That's really a broad question, but we can really sum it up, I would say, in 2 big categories. The first one, it's pushing way too hard too often, and the second category would be nutrition, like everything that relates to nutrition, like post-race nutrition, during the race, during the training, and so on and so on.
Yeah, do you know what? I would say that it is something that I've definitely become really lazy with, and that's the nutrition. Because I remember as I was doing the kind of big training block late last year, you were very much like, make sure you get your carbs in before, make sure things like caffeine as well, make sure you kind of, play about with that kind of before the race and then during the race as well, and make sure you're getting your energy gel. So that is something that I've definitely become lazy with, and I do feel it throughout the race, whereas I could probably go for an hour plus at the moment. Anything over half an hour is just absolutely, carnage for me. So yeah,
mate, and I have like really, the story to tell, quick story to tell. Then I have a guy who I train, and he was progressing pretty well in terms of power, but he was never good during the racing. Like, not really, he could be better, but something was stopping him every time. And then we really analyzed everything, what happens to him, and we found out that actually his nutrition the day before was not that good as it could be. There was a lot of fat, a lot of proteins, and less carbs. So we really changed the race nutrition, like what you eat on the breakfast 2 hours before the race, and bam, he was on the podium, like straight away, the same power. But then, yeah, that's crazy. What impact nutrition can have.
It's incredible what like a difference that can make, and I know definitely for me personally, I felt exactly the same way as well. So interesting, and I've got probably a good follow-up question to that as well, because we are coming to like the outdoor season at the moment. Especially in the northern hemisphere, it's getting a little bit warmer outside, thankfully. But how would you say, how do you balance your kind of outdoor rides versus your indoor sessions, like Zwift, for example?
Well, I can definitely say that you can really benefit from both. And just a quick example, another example, where I live in Germany, in Leipzig, we don't have any hills here. Like it's so hard to find anything longer than 2 minutes. And for the last race, I had to really train a bit harder and for the longer climbs. And what I did, I used Zwift and Zwift Climber, this thing that can imitate the gradient, and actually simulate the exact power that I need on these climbs, longer climbs, to prepare the muscles, which will be used during the race with the longer climbs. So you can really benefit and target specific workouts on Zwift without being stuck in the traffic or stop for the pedestrians, and it's really different things. And I would say that you can really benefit with these VO2 max intervals indoors.
Yeah, my favorite VO2 max, or are they now? But that's a great little tip. And actually, I've got the Kickr Climb. I think it's what you were talking about, and there are obviously other makes out there as well. But I don't really use it that often. But it's a great shout. Maybe I should turn it on, and I should put up the old Zwift trainer difficulty to 100%. So actually, the climbs on Zwift feel like climbs outdoors. So that's a really useful tip, actually, and something that I probably overlooked, I would say.
And really nerdy advice, I would say, you can leave your training difficulty on 50%, but change the wheel size within your app in Wahoo to imitate the proper gradient, but still stay within 50% in the Zwift, so you don't have to shift too much too radically.
Interesting. All right, good man. That is useful advice there. Thanks, Costa. And just like that, we are coming to the end of the race. We're on the second Petit KOM again. And Costa, you've probably finished the race by now, mate, haven't you?
I think so. Yeah.
So great performance from you, and we'll see the results in a minute. But I say I do not begrudge you from going off and doing a few. Well, it sounds like you did a few kind of VO2 efforts, and the rest was zone 2. So that was good. That always makes me feel better. But I'm just coming up this last bit. My legs are killing me at this point, mate, and I'm just hanging on basically.
I can see by your RPMs, right? So it's pretty low. Did you feel that you could do 195 RPM to stay on the higher?
Naturally, I kind of feel like when I'm doing efforts like this, I always go lower, so like 70 to 80, and then when I don't know, so maybe it's something that we can have a look at, because it is very low. But yeah, I was struggling here. Like I was really, really struggling, and I knew I had a feather to drop. But actually, kind of little mistake here again. I didn't really know. I knew the finish was at the top, but I didn't realise how close it was, to be honest. So I don't know. I'm just trying to do my best to sit in really and try and finish as high as possible. But I'm quite happy to have got this far up with the pack still, and I got a chance, haven't I, of not finishing last, but also I think probably I'll be quite high up in my category. But here we go. Just coming to the end now. Drop the featherweight. And
your heart rate is low.
Yeah, it's yeah. I'm trying though. You can see that I'm trying, but I can see the line. I can see those guys going ahead of me. I can see I've got 9 seconds, so I kind of sit down and do the remaining 160 watts. But what a race! Like I was just, you know, super good and really enjoyable. I really enjoyed that, and I put the winners up here. So we got the Racing Score 600 plus. Lee won, Remy second, and then Costa, congratulations mate, third place. Very good. And then we got the Racing Score just below that, so Justin, Hugh and Dylan. So once again, great results, and I'll put up the full Zwift Power. And the Racing Score under 500, Dancy, Chris, and then me finished third in my Racing Score, so I'll take that in the Not Pocket Championships. The polka dot jersey winner was Lee. Absolutely smashed it up the KOM, like just unbelievable watching that back. And then Dan and Ben, winners of the green jersey, gave it to them joint because Ben actually got the quickest time, but then had to kind of go. He wasn't feeling too well, and then Dan was second best, but actually finished the race. So they both got it, you know, and that's the thing with your own championships. You can give it to whoever you want. So there we go, and that's the final kind of list there. But Costa, thank you so much for coming on to the video again. Great to have you here, and hopefully we'll get you on again soon.
Sure. Thanks, mate. Thanks for organizing. Thanks to everyone for this great race.
Thanks very much, Costa, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.